Hello, this is from
Hello.
Nicole Maria Sings. I am so thrilled to have you here. Thank you for making time for me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for reaching out. I'm excited.
I don't know whether you realized that I have a teeny tiny YouTube channel. I made a video saying obsessed by Ren, particularly the rabbit hole, and then I mentioned you but I said about there's somebody who reacts, who sings as well, and it's amazing. And in the comments people were going, "Oh, who is it? Who is it? Who is it?" So I linked to you.
Thank you so
But
much.
but before that, I was only getting sort of 10 views, and then that one got 8,000. But I think you might be familiar with that kind of situation.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It was crazy, crazy,
I
crazy.
think that was why I particularly wanted to reach out to you. It's about the Ren fans and then what happens to you. But I thought, well, I do want to know about your story and the singing and the opera. But first of all, Ren. How did you find Ren? Because you were doing other things, weren't you?
So I was doing Harry Mack, who I don't know if you've heard of him. He's
Only
an
from your channel.
amazing
Yeah.
freestyle. Okay, definitely go check him out. He's an amazing freestyle rapper and one of those people that is able to just come up with amazing stories, not just like rhyming words to words, but stories and taking his surroundings. And he's like 5 steps
Okay.
ahead. But in the comments, I always got, please react her in, please react her in. I think you'll really like him. I think you'll really like him. And so I was doing Harry Mack for a while and I was like, okay, I definitely want to add on another person, at least one other person for now. And so I thought, who have people been asking me to react to? And it was Rin. And they said, start with Hi Rin. So that's what I did.
That must have been a
That's
crazy place
what
to
I did.
start. Yeah. A good place, but yeah.
Yes, yes. It was a what am I watching moment, but also, whoa, this is
Yeah.
amazing, but like, I want to cry. Like so many emotions and thoughts.
Yeah. And then how quickly was it before the renegades found you?
It was instant. It was instant. Absolutely.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Because you say Harry Mack was the other person. There must be a fan group for him that follow reaction videos. Yeah.
Yes, I think a lot of Harry Mack fans also watch
Okay.
Ren, and so it made sense too as
So this
well.
just kind of boosted it, and yeah. I'm just really curious
Yeah.
because for me, I remember seeing that I think YouTube it shows like more than 9 comments were waiting, and I was like, well, that's strange to have more than 9 comments waiting. And then I was too scared to go and read the comments for like a few hours. But then when I looked, it's like everybody was so kind.
The Renegades, yeah, they're special.
Yeah,
I don't know, like, so you said you've got comments on your
yeah,
videos and they just were really kind about it. Yeah, they're
and
really
sharing their
special and
story.
it makes
Yeah,
it, yeah. Well, it makes it, almost worth it as well because of the kindness that they bring to the channel. And that's kind of what I want to embody, is I love Harry Mack's
yeah,
fans because of the energy they bring. And now Renegades also bring this beautiful kindness
yeah,
um, that I didn't know was out there as
yeah.
well. So now you get to experience it, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's crazy. Yeah, it blew me away. The only thing was is that they were saying do a reaction to this or do a reaction, and I do struggle with the reactions. I love watching other people do the reactions, but when I film myself, it was like you would have to study micro expressions. I think also because of Ren's work is so dramatic. There was just lots of information and lots of things happening that I didn't really react much. I just stared at the screen. But yeah,
I think for Ren, it depends on like how much you want to take in at once,
yeah,
right? So I notice when I react to him, sometimes I let it play fully
yeah,
for a good chunk, or sometimes I'm just like, I just need to go back and watch it again, right? There's a lot happening. And so you have to give it a second or third listen in order to be able to really get as much as you can. But even still, you miss
yeah.
stuff, right?
But
So,
also, when you're
yeah.
watching, obviously your channel, you say I'm an opera singer, and you mentioned about the singing. But is that the filter that you're particularly looking at the singing, or are you involved in the drama and interested in that side as well? Or Everything.
Everything. So yes, I'm an opera singer, but I'm also a human,
Yeah,
right? So it's like in life you experience things, and so I'm taking what I've experienced in life and connecting it and trying to help others who maybe, or I wouldn't say help, but just give my 2 cents, I guess, of kind of like things I've experienced, but relating it to what they've gone through. And, you know, we've all gone through stuff.
yeah,
And so it's impactful to see other people like Ren and even Harry, and you're able to give advice or your opinion or thoughts, and hopefully connect and help others throughout that.
yeah. I mean, it's funny though, because when I say opera, and obviously you've mentioned about the singing in your channel is that you sing, but clearly opera is drama.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this kind of leads us on to what is your background? What have you studied? You must know a whole lot more about drama and things than me. I know you know the singing, but I think you know loads about the drama too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I started singing since I was a little girl, and my mom put me. It wasn't choir and church choir, right? And then when it was time, to actually get serious, I was like, well, I only want to sing. I don't want to do anything else with my life. So I actually studied throughout my childhood with a private teacher, and it was more so actually I started out in like a more musical
Hmm.
theater realm, so that training, that technique, and then when it was time to go off to school for college. um I was like, well, I'm not really a dancer. So my teacher was like, you should learn opera.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So we started training in the classical world. And then I auditioned for schools. And it was in that mindset, like, if you can sing opera, you can sing anything. And so it took me a second to like understand it and appreciate it,
Right.
but once I did, I was like, oh wow, this is amazing, and I want to keep learning, and I want to keep growing, and my voice was completely different, and now I feel like I'm able to have this control over my voice that I didn't have when I was studying the latter. So then I did my undergrad, and then I did my grad, and have done performances, and so now I'm solo gigging in Miami,
Mhm.
and so it's really fun to just do that. And I'm an entrepreneur through and through, so just like going out there and just doing what I love for others, and not for other, like doing what I love for myself, but also give it to others and not be under somebody else's like thumb, is how I really have been able to just feel fulfilled in life.
Right. Okay. Well, now you've just said so many things. I'm just trying to think, keep up with that. So,
Okay, sorry.
so when you're studying opera, when you're studying this, you're studying because you mentioned about different parts of the body with voice. When you were doing your reaction, you were kind of analyzing the different singing styles,
Mm.
and so that so there's more than just, oh, I'm studying how to be a better singer. There's some biology, there's some, what other things? Yeah.
Yeah. So the voice is our instrument, or the body, excuse me, the body is our instrument. And so when I work with my private students, I try to explain that to them from the very beginning. It's like, it's not here.
Mhm.
We're not here when we sing. We're actually everywhere, but we want to be off the throat. We want to be here and using our resonance
You
in
make
the
me want to
chest.
sit up
And
straight.
so we
Sorry.
use I know, right? Like I'm sitting up straight as I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
right? So, and we use our core and our diaphragm, and we learn how to engage the breath in that way. And when you can engage the breath in a proper way and imagine the air is kind of coming like in this vertical
Yeah.
motion, and it kind of comes up and through the face. And so we use all of this as resonance. And so when I'm analyzing the singing and I'm analyzing the words, um, I'm noticing where he's putting his voice and all these crazy things that he's doing at the same
Yeah.
time. I'm like, how is he doing this? There are times where he flips to his head, and that's like just using the air properly to get it
Right.
to go to the head and be this light, I almost say dome effect. So that just pure, like what you hear in a church choir or
Okay.
something. But if you want that gritty sound, you can go to your throat to have that effect. So the whole body is the instrument, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Like we use the whole body.
Right. Okay. And again, as I say, I feel like you're giving me so many different directions that I could go in for the questions. You mentioned that you teach, but you also mentioned that you're performing. So at the moment, you're doing some of everything. Is that right?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you say your
Yes.
what did you say about your performance? Did you say one woman show? Did you mention something about?
So it's more so like I find people to collaborate
Okay.
with, and we go and we just like I have a colleague down here in Florida, and we're collaborating. She makes these beautiful, beautiful designs and costumes and
Oh,
dresses,
okay.
and so we put our efforts together. And if you Olga Soretsky for Kikimora Studios, just a little shout out
Okay.
for her 'cause she's amazing and her stuff is beautiful. Y'all should check it out. And so we've collaborated, and so we're putting together our efforts to expand and do it that way, and using the classical voice with her beautiful
Right.
creations. And so that's what I'm doing, but also, other stuff as well. But also my main thing lately has been the teaching, which has been wonderful and fulfilling. So that's what I, yeah,
Okay. Well, when I was
really
having a
enjoy.
look at your YouTube channel, it sounds like you said reactions, vocal tips, performance advice, but you mentioned mindset and sort of holistic health. Is that still true? Is that part of it or?
It all comes down to
Yeah.
that. That's actually something I was like, I probably should take that off, but it's a part of
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So after I graduated from from Indiana University after my grad school, I actually took a break from
Okay.
singing because I was kind of burnt out. I was like, school, it was great, it was a blessing, it was a curse, but I was done. I was like, I have to figure out what I want
Mhm.
to do. Um, it's easy to let the negativity get to you and the criticisms get to you. So mindset's a big thing that
Okay.
needed to shift for me. So it took a couple years to for that shift. And so I tried other things. And so my then boyfriend, now husband, he was like, "Well, Nicole, I'm going to study nutritional therapy. Would you like to do it with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we decided to study nutritional therapy. And so we became nutritional therapy practitioners, and realizing how important food is on the body as a
Mhm.
whole, not just for, to look good, but for your whole system and for your mind and even for your singing and all of that. So I try to incorporate mindset and nutrition tips and
Mhm.
goals in my practice for people, but it's not the main thing. But mindset, I'm more so particular on that and how people speak to
Okay.
themselves. Because if you say, I'm not a good singer, I can't do this, I can't do that, then you won't be able to.
Yeah.
You have to reframe how you're speaking to
Yeah.
yourself.
It's interesting that you were sent to the high Ren and then you're talking now about you already had an interest in mindset and how you're speaking to yourself. Because for me, the fact that he articulates that inner dialogue so well is really what
Yeah.
attracted me because I'm not in the world of rap music or anything like that. For me, it's the whole storytelling that completely grabbed me. So
Yeah. I think Ren takes you in by force, and he hits on those real things. And so I definitely understand where you're coming from. Because if you think about it, like, why opera and rap? Why opera and Ren, right? It's like, what, but why not?
yeah,
You know, I think it's really
yeah.
special. I
It's
don't know how
funny.
to
I
describe
said,
it.
"Oh, I don't think I'm a typical Ren fan," and then the comments immediately was like, "There's no typical Ren fan. There's no typical Ren fan." It's like, "I'm older. I'm younger. I'm this. I'm that," and then you mentioned that you're an opera singer, and yet you're still. I mean, when you take a step back, it's clear that there's a connection because of the drama and the storytelling and the variety of the singing. But if you look on the
Yes.
surface, you would say, why would Nicole be interested? But
It, yeah, no, I see your point. It's so funny. So I have a good friend of mine, who is also a reactor, and I introduced him to Ren, and he was like,
yeah,
boom, like, what? So we did a dual reaction to High Ren, and then we just did one to Ginny and Screech. And he's like how I was. He's like, I have to do more, I have to know more, right? Because it is that drama. We've
yeah,
compared it to that, like the drama of the opera world, but also seeing how he takes it, and he's a
yeah,
storyteller. He's not just a singer to sing. He's a whole, like, one man
yeah,
show. And I think that's probably what attracts us to him
yeah.
subconsciously, I would imagine, more so than the voice itself, but everything else that you would have in the dramatic opera
Yeah. Well, I
world.
think we each have our way in to make a connection, don't we? Because I knew his story about health and different things, so that was something that I was particularly interested in. And I was seeing a counselor,
Mm,
and she said, "Oh, you may want to hear Ren because he talks about the struggles with the medical profession and different things like that." So that was my way in. It wasn't. And I must admit, I think I dismissed her at first. She was like, "Oh, all the kids are watching this," and I thought, "I don't know. I don't know whether that's right for me." But you said she's also a reactor, your friend. Do you see your channel as a reaction channel or a mix or
I'm honestly hoping for a
yeah,
mix. So eventually I'm going to add more singing on
yeah,
there. I have stuff that I did over the holidays, but I started reacting because I was like, well, why not?
yeah.
Right. And it's fun.
Yes. Yeah, you look
So
like you're having fun.
I really enjoy it. I didn't think, to be honest, like I was like, am I gonna like this? I don't know. But the first video I put out, I was like, wow, this is really
Yeah,
fun. And so I just kept doing more. And so no is I don't think it's gonna be a full on reaction channel, but it's gonna have reaction videos. And eventually I want to add in some
yeah.
singing back into it, which I do post here and there, but not as much as I should, I think.
As you should or want to. Yeah. I yeah, I
Yeah.
think sometimes, especially this is one of the things about the Ren fans. They're so enthusiastic and they're saying more reactions, more reactions. And I must admit, I needed to take a
Yeah.
breath and say, okay, it's lovely to have that response, but I need to think about what I want to create too. And it's tricky because I'd love to have more subscribers and different things. But I needed to say, okay, take a breath, Joe. Is this what you want to be doing? And for me, I think it's the
Uh,
same. Is that there are some bits that are fun, and that's great. And
yeah.
for me particularly, it was about speaking to people like you and just saying, "Oh, what was it like when they found you?" That's the bit I'm really interested in, and I'm not sure about the reaction side, but I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out. And I said to them, it'd be lovely if you hang around as I figure this out, but I understand if you only want the Ren stuff, you know.
I think like if I go back and so I can
Yeah.
try to see if I can help you a little bit with that. I view it all as
Mhm.
one rather than separate, right? So you do your reactions, you gain that positive enforcement, the positive fan base, and eventually they want to see more
Yeah.
of you as you, right? And that's what I'm noticing with the Renegades and the Harry Mack people, and then whoever else has followed, subscribed, is they're going now and looking at my singing
Yeah.
videos and they're commenting, and so there is a connection with that. So you're going to have
Yeah.
crossover. So even if you do reactions, they're going to cross over into your other stuff. And eventually you could do that more or do that from time to time and they're going to love it because it's you. They're there for you at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
I think that's what when I first started YouTube, I was teaching and I wasn't feeling like I was myself on camera. I was putting on a persona of a teacher. And this time I said,
Yes.
no, I've got to find a way to start relaxing and react as me. So it's just it's an experiment. So, I talking
Yeah.
about experiments, do you always sing? Do you always play through the music a second time and join in, or is that something that's pops up occasionally? Do you
Depending
call it
on the
singing, or do you say
artist.
harmonize, or what would you call that?
In the beginning, I called it my own little
Okay.
improvisations, right? Because with Harry Mack, it's he's just
Right.
rapping, and then you've got the music underneath, so it's a lot easier to just kind of go in. And most of the time, I give my first take, and I tell the people like, "This is my first take," or "Okay, I did this like twice,"
Mhm.
right? So it just depends on how I feel, because I want it to be fun and raw. And so I know there's also imperfections. And like that for me is a challenge to be able to put those imperfections
Yeah,
out there and be okay with
yeah,
it. Right. And so doing that more and more has helped me to let go of a lot of things. Now for Ren, it's more complex. So if I don't listen to the whole thing again, I'll go back to maybe the first part, get a feel for it, maybe start singing a little bit, sing
okay.
halfway through, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I start it over and I just go for it.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question because it's deceptive. When I first watched it, I thought, "Oh my goodness, she's just watched it and sang straight away." But you do give yourself a moment to think and
Just a moment, right? Because I don't want to spend too much time like, okay, I got to knock this out within the next 20 minutes. So let's do it, right? But Yeah, it'd be great. Like, I think depending on, I know he has a rap one, right? So depending on that
Yeah,
one, maybe I do it, but it just depends. And people have asked, I should make a video about that on my
yeah,
method because it changes.
yeah.
It
I
changes.
saw an interview once with Gary Barlow, and he was saying he always harmonizes for every song. Every song he hears of somebody else, he's always thinking about different harmonies, and because he feels that
Mm.
it's almost like keeping the skills alive, in his own mind.
It keeps your ear.
Yeah,
Yeah, like keeping your ear alive, keeping your brain working. Just like when people say as you get older, don't stop learning,
yeah,
right? Learn a new language, do something. So it's the same thing for musician, I think, too, where don't get lazy,
yeah.
right? So using your brain and giving that ear a chance to grow
Yeah,
still.
I can't do that. When I remember being, in informal choirs, and I just sing whatever the person next to me is singing. I find it very hard to separate and to harmonize and different things. But if people were curious about the singing part, particularly, I saw that you've got a community that you say the classical voice.
Yes, it's called The Classical Voice. It's an online community. And, if people are interested in learning to sing, it doesn't have to be opera. That's the name of
Yeah,
it. It's what felt right to me. And right now it's a mix of people that are
right.
advanced to very, very beginners. And what I've noticed as the community has grown, it is so uplifting. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I was looking at my husband yesterday. I was like, wow, this community is amazing. The people that are in there, because I have some Ren people
Hmm.
in there, and just like in the comments, they're as amazing as they are in the
Yeah,
group. Um, and they just bring this wonderful energy. And I have a wins page, and I've got one guy in particular who's posting all of his wins, like as a singer, as a person. And it's really uplifting to see that, and then encouraging to see other people who maybe are struggling with something, and everybody's going to like say, you got this, and help them out. and
okay.
and
Is this the
but yeah, it's
is this
mainly
the
to learn to
school
sing.
school community? Because I saw.
Yeah.
Ah, right. I saw school community, but that was kind of I saw that in a different place to so that's where you go to hang out and the teaching.
Yeah, it's where I go to give them. I have like beginner warm-ups
Okay.
and some intermediate stuff, right? And then we do a group call once a week. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time will be a group call within that community. And so we get on there, and sometimes it just turns into something like
Yeah.
this, or like we do a mini master class, and somebody's like, I want to work on one little thing. And so I take 10-15 minutes and I work on this, and then everybody around is listening and they gain something
Yeah.
from it. It's evolving,
Yeah.
right? So I'm still figuring it out, but as the group gets bigger, I know more of what people want, and then I tweak here and
Yeah.
there.
But you say although it's called the classical voice, it is a whole mixture. It's about learning the way that you were taught the professional way to learn, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I'm taking the stuff that I learned when I was
Hmm.
younger. That was really helpful, and I'm taking stuff that I learned as I got
Okay.
older, and then also stuff that I've come up with, and I'm putting it as one. And I don't like people to feel like they're stuck in one
Yeah.
niche or one way of singing. I like the idea to be able to use the voice as an instrument and go in any route you want. Now, you may have people that really would prefer just to sing opera, and I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. You got people that want to sing musical theater. I'm okay with that. But I have some students that are like, I want to be able to do almost everything. And I'm like, yeah, we can work towards that.
That's
Like,
exciting.
don't put yourself in a
That's
box.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're not putting yourself in a box, aren't you? And I think this is the interesting thing about video. So, out of curiosity, how long have you been doing videos? As in YouTube?
Like the
Yeah.
YouTube June.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. June. So that's when I started the like really getting into
Yeah.
it and getting consistent. Last Christmas, I decided to do like a 25 days of Christmas advent calendar of singing.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I got really burnt out. So I was like, okay, I need to figure something else out. And so lots of lifestyle changes happened, and then my husband and I moved down to Florida, and now I'm like, let's get started. And so my good friend, who's also a reactor, helped me set
Yeah.
everything up, and got started, and I haven't looked back. I've been doing it consistently since June.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I think what it was though, what I wanted to say about the video, what I found so interesting is that I thought there would be a value to video if you're professional and teaching something, but there seems to be another value of people just feeling they know you and okay, she's somebody who I could work with or she's somebody I can relate to. And I think I underestimated that side of things.
For yourself, you
Yeah,
mean, like when you
yeah.
were
I
doing it
mean,
and
in
you
terms of people, you know, although you say you're an opera singer and that's how you've trained, people who come over to your community, they're coming because they've heard you talk and they've seen you on video and they're like, okay, she's interested in other music. I've heard how she reacts to people and it's much more about knowing you, isn't it? Rather than saying, oh, she's qualified or she's this or that.
exactly. It comes back down to know, like, and
Yeah.
trust, right? If you don't know, if you don't trust somebody, why would you want to work with them?
Yeah.
And but even still, like, I try to be my best raw authentic self in these videos because I don't know how else to be. So um then people feel like they know you, and then when they get in the community, it's the same, at least for me, I
Yeah.
hope, and I hope it's the same for other people. um but yeah, just because you have XYZ qualifications, that's great on paper, but are people going to want to work with you if they don't trust you?
Yeah. I was to say I didn't appreciate that the video was so much that there was such a difference between me stating qualifications and that I've got this experience and then them
Yeah.
just seeing me talk about it or something like that. So it's fun. I can't believe you're just a baby on the YouTube channel.
I'm just a baby.
I hope that doesn't come across as wrong.
No, no,
It
no, no.
comes so
You're fine.
yeah, I think it's brilliant. But yeah, but I say in the future. So are you keeping some of the teaching things separate on the school and in the that platform, or are you saying you're going to dribble some bits through to the YouTube channel and
I'll dribble some bits in. I have some of that stuff in there that's kind of evergreen. So if people on YouTube like want to do it that way, they can,
Mhm.
but it's the same stuff in the community.
And
Um,
your performances? I don't remember seeing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so funny. It's like I get a bunch of little shorts of my
Okay.
performances. I need to get more, actual video
Yeah.
long form. I have one that's my stepfather posted on his channel that I need to bring over to mine because I did a couple. I went out to Vegas in April and sang, and I did something last November of this big performance. So I'm like, I need to put those on my channel.
Yeah, I think people would be curious. I mean, I also like all the behind the scenes stuff. So anything that you were saying about, "Oh, okay, I'm doing this kind of performance and I'm preparing this way, or I just love all that insider knowledge.
You have me thinking
Yeah,
now. Maybe I could put it together like
yeah,
that. At some point, it would be really cool to see my channel, so I could do all that,
yeah,
right? Like be more of a full time thing,
right,
right? That way, I could carve out the time to be able to make all those videos, because I do enjoy it,
yeah.
and for what we want to do in life, it makes more sense for us
Yeah,
to
but it's also you
have
you
that.
said about you had a friend who does the costumes, and I was thinking, "Oh, I'd like to see those." So for me, it's everything. It's just a window into another world that is not mine.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, I have some of that stuff on my in my
okay,
shorts. I know people don't watch shorts as much, but you'll see I'm in her gowns, and but I know she does a lot of filming for the behind the
yeah,
scenes, so I'll have to get some of that, or because once I'm in it, like I'm in my mode, I'm
yeah,
like I'm performing. I have to put on. That's when you put on a character. Yeah, that's when it's a different version of me. I guess you'd say it's the
yeah,
proper, like, I'm in a character because we move like this as I
yeah.
sing, and so it's very just it's interesting. You'd have to look at the videos,
Yeah,
I think.
it was interesting. In terms of the reactors, I was saying there must be somebody who knows about stage presence and dance and different things because certainly some of his videos, I was thinking they're choreographed, I was thinking as somebody who's done dance in my background. Oh, I think there's been some thought of this person is standing here, they're angled. I was like, oh, I want to talk about that. I want them to share. But that's all things that you know too. Although you're focusing on the voice. Although I don't know. You've focused on the words too, haven't you? I've heard you talk.
I know it's crazy. Sometimes I lose sight of the voice and I focus on the
Yeah,
words, or I lose sight of the words and I focus on the voice, or I'm looking at the cinematography.
yeah,
Everything is it's just boom, boom, boom. And so I just talk about what comes to mind. So yeah, I guess it's not a vocal. It's sometimes vocal reactions, but just like the whole thing in
yeah,
general, because it'd be a shame not to comment on those
yeah,
things.
yeah. No, I was just. I'll say it. I don't know if it's any interesting, but I'd love a window into the world of opera. I feel I have been to see opera, but I feel removed from it. And I find that having
Yeah.
some of the context and some of the story surrounding it helps me understand and different things. But I throw that out to you. You see where you go next.
No. Opera is one of those things that people don't know they need until they
Hmm.
experience it. I've had comments from people that were like, I did not know I needed that
Yeah,
today, you know? And that's also, I think, partly like one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing to just give a little glimpse into the classical world, even if it's not a full on opera
yeah,
itself, but I can show how the voice can be so telling in just simple ways by oohs and ahs and expression
yeah,
that way. But also that's something that I feel. And so I just have to let it out. Like the voice for me is a way to let out emotions and expressions and let go of things. So it's cathartic.
yeah.
But
I think it's about you being approachable, isn't it? That I haven't gone into the world of opera, but in a way, you've come into my world, and I'm like, okay, I think I could ask Nicole. Like, yeah,
And you
yeah.
did, and I said yes. So I'm glad I wasn't scary.
Yeah, it's all kind of new. So, let's say reaching out to different people. Is there anything that you think I haven't asked you about that you would like to talk about?
Good, good question. I'm trying to think now.
And so I
I mean, you
loved the
asked it.
singing. That was a real surprise to me. When I watched you do the reaction, I could see from the video that you were going to watch the video again. Um, and I thought, but I've seen other reactors just comment more based on their specialist subject. And so when you started singing, I was okay. I have to stop now. Pay attention. Yeah,
Well, I guess that's good feedback, for me too, because I really wasn't sure how it was gonna
yeah.
relay to the audience. And so I guess my question for you is like, so what made you want to stay to the end? Was it that comment, like, please stay to the end for my surprise? Or
No,
was it just
it's
like you just
funny.
wanted to see
No,
the whole thing?
no. I suppose I was saying this earlier to somebody that sometimes I go to YouTube videos because I want to learn something, but other times
Mm.
it's more of a I want to soothe an emotional soothing or relaxing or it's not the entertainment fast edit. It's more of an emotional, okay, I'm ready to be relaxed into this and enjoy this. So I was already in that state watching you. And then I was thinking, okay, this is
Mm.
interesting. But I remember definitely seeing there's quite a bit left of this video and what's she going to do. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
more curiosity of what's she going to do? She's going to watch it again. And her specialist subject is the singing or I was like what's she going to say, but I know when I mentioned your channel and that song I said you must stay to the end. You must stay to the end. But that's exactly
Thank you
what you
for that.
want people to say, isn't it? I know you were saying it's kind of it's supposed to be a surprise maybe, but I think people that know your channel, yeah, know that you're going to
They
be
know, they know what to
yeah.
expect, and that's what I like to try to portray, is like, for those who know, I know you're excited, right? But for those who don't know, ha,
No,
ha,
I
ha, wait till
suppose
the end.
I'm a little bit jaded, so I maybe he's like, oh, maybe a surprise at the end was be like, hey, I've got tickets. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Rather than what you were going to be
yes.
giving, because sometimes they say things like that just to keep you to the end. But it was because I saw a chunk
Yes.
of time and I thought, where's she going to go with a chunk of time like that? So that
She's just gonna talk for the next
well,
20 minutes is what's
I think that's the thing. I think people talk about YouTube as in short attention spans, but it's not necessarily true because sometimes when I go and watch a video, I don't want to flick between lots of videos. I want to spend time,
Mm.
hear what you think, and if you go off on a little tangent, I'm okay with that. I don't know. Maybe I'm older and that's just the way I watch it. I don't know. No, you're
No, I think
you're just
you're.
figuring out.
I don't. I Yeah. I don't know. I think from what I'm understanding is a lot of people are like
Yeah,
you. You do have some people who are like,
yeah. Watch 3 minutes
don't
off. Yeah.
pause, stop. Yeah, right. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's just how it works. But I think more so people like to just get to know the person and then watch them watch it, which I think is really
yeah.
cool.
Definitely in my comments, people were saying, "I really like to see the emotion and to relive that emotion." And then there
Yeah.
was others that were saying about added information and added insight. But it was those two things that people were saying that they like, and some leaned on one or the other, but everybody was saying
Hmm.
the same thing. So it seems to be that the reaction videos hit both things most of the time, most of the reactions. So
Yeah. I mean, just like what you said, like I remember, so when I watched, his Ginny and Screech,
I haven't watched
I
that. So la
lost.
la 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 la. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I saw your picture and you were crying, and I thought I haven't seen the original. And I thought, I think I
Oh, go
need to
watch
see
it.
the original before I watch your reaction. So,
Okay. Then never mind. Cut that out. Merp. Because I was going to say something about the
well,
people
I've
in their
heard
comments
people
about
talk
that.
about it. I've heard a
Okay.
little bit of conversation about, did they call it the tales or?
The
Yeah.
tales. Yeah.
So it's much more on the story. And I keep thinking I must sit down to do it, but I have a suspicion I might end up crying. So I'm hopefully I don't need to go out and see people afterwards. So
So yes, do it like when it's late at, well, maybe not, I wouldn't say late at night because you may not be able to sleep.
I think, is this the one that you've got about 125,000 views or something? Is this the one?
Is it already at one? I know it was over 100,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked on that one. I was like, what? It did better than High Rent.
Yeah.
But
Maybe because more people have covered high rent. I don't know. I don't know.
maybe, YouTube is so finicky, funny, whatever word you want to
Yeah.
use. It could be the algorithm, it could be the thumbnail, it could be the title, it could be all of it. People
Yeah.
sharing. I don't know why, but it's
It's
yeah.
worth watching, but yeah, I need to give myself some time, sit down and relax. But yeah, I was thinking I really want to watch his original first and then
Good
and then
idea.
give myself a bit of time to watch a reaction video and process the whole thing. But I have heard a little bit about it. So yeah. So you can't tell me
Yeah.
anymore. Okay.
I won't say a word.
And so people can go to your channel, Nicole Maria Sings. I've seen this
Mhm.
contact information there, and you've got your different community.
Yes, I've got on YouTube itself under Nicole
Yeah,
Maria Sings. I have my Instagram, my TikTok, my online
yeah,
community if you want to join. It's all there in one spot. I will be honest, like I'm more active on
yeah,
YouTube, so Instagram and TikTok, I have to get better at that. But eventually,
yeah. I mean, we're all juggling and
I was
figure
like, let's
things
just
out.
focus.
Yeah. And your
Yeah, I
performances,
was
when
like,
you are going to perform somewhere, I'm assuming you tell the community too. So, would you say that in the YouTube? But this is, I say, this is also new. This is,
yeah, it's as I get them, I it depends on if they're private
yeah,
performances or
okay,
not,
yeah.
right? Depending if
I
it's for
never
a private
considered
event,
that, but
I
yeah,
can
okay,
it's hard to announce that if it's for a private
yeah,
event, but if it's for, if I'm putting it on
hmm,
myself, and I want people to come and see it, then yeah, I'll definitely announce it.
yeah.
Right? If I'm like, I'm going to book this venue and I'm going to put on a whole performance for everybody and then please come fly, come join, come watch.
Yeah. Okay.
Buy tickets.
I was just thinking, I just had a little vision then of like younger you, because you said you were singing from when you were younger as well. But were you the child that likes to do the performance then, or okay?
Always. Always. It's so funny. I don't have a fear of, and I guess I never did, of just being that
Okay.
person and being in the center of attention or on stage um you know, I network as well, and
Okay.
so I'm actually the vice president of my networking group because as a teacher, you know, I want to get more
Yeah.
gigs and network, and so I'm up there. I'm like, woohoo, let's go, guys, you know. And then you got people that are like, you know, so
Yeah.
it's all a performance, I guess, at the end of the day for me.
No, it's great, but like you said, it's about seeing somebody enjoy themselves, and that you seem to be enjoying watching it. And it was a few times you did something that I do too. With he was doing something in the song, and you were almost like clapping for him. You were like, "Oh yes, yes, and yes," and this, yeah, just really
Yeah.
excited for it. So that was really really fun to see and to be a
Thank you
part of
so
it.
much.
That's the thing about the reaction videos, isn't it? It's just feeling that you're a part of their first time watching
Hmm.
something. But yeah, that's fabulous.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. I'm going to hit stop for the record and then just quickly say our goodbyes afterwards. But thanking you, and
Yeah.
I'll look forward to more.
Oh no, thank you so much as well,
All right.
Joanne. Thank you.
Bye.